the best I am, the best I can. I've been drowning in silence, buried under the weight, but the cracks in the darkness show me I can break. I've been shattered and twisted, but I still remain. Every scar is a lesson, every tear fuels the flame. I won't run, I won't fade, I was born to rise from the pain. Innovate, tear the chains, create the future. Innovate, stand my ground, I'm pushing through fire. Innovate.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to GWF Friday Night Fury. And yes, I know it's Saturday, but this shit takes a while. The main thing is sit back and watch or listen. But overall, enjoy the show. Let's get into things with match one.
The Global Wrestling Federation, and even it's time to see a true icon of this business in Johnny Hall of Fame rock star make his presence well known for by the grace of the camera screen. Well, you know what's next. I'm about to face an ex-tag partner, always riding on my fucking coattails. Casey Luchador. This is gonna be over as quickly as it can. Well, that's it. I will see you later. Won't say everything else to my challenger, because he's always stealing my spotlight. It's all mine.
The moment this match was announced, the WWE Universe has expected a classic. I think it is destined to deliver. This match has everyone backstage buzzing. He is an exciting competitor to watch.
Kansas City 316 says, prepare yourself for Lucha Madness. Johnny Rockstar. Tonight, the stars are shining bright. because in GWF, our storyline ongoing rivalry continues. And this show of shows is going to be awesome. We're going to see who is the better man in this match. So be prepared for the fight of your life. Because match number 1, that means me and you are opening the show tonight. Everybody knows that the premiere show of Friday Night Glory, all of GWF will be watching this show, including our match. So it's time to put up or shut up Johnny Rockstar. So I'll see you in that ring tonight. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For God is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for our sins, now, at the hour of our death. Amen. God protect me on this very day.
The atmosphere was electric as the crowd buzzed with anticipation, a low rumble building into a roar when the unmistakable theme of Johnny Rockstar hit. The Hall of Famer stepped through the curtain with veteran confidence, soaking in the reaction. Every step down the ramp carried the weight of legacy. This wasn't just another match. This was a living legend stepping into battle. Moments later, KC Luchador burst onto the stage with explosive energy, flipping forward into a perfect landing. The younger competitor fed off the crowd's excitement, his confidence unmistakable. Tonight wasn't just an opportunity, it was a proving ground. The bell rang. They circled cautiously at first. A classic feeling out process. Johnny Rockstar extended a hand, and KC smirked before accepting. A quick lockup followed, both men jockeying for position. Rockstar used his experience to transition into a headlock, grounding KC early. But the Luchador quickly countered with a whip to the ropes. Rockstar rebounded. Shoulder tackle. KC didn't budge. Another attempt. Same result. Rockstar raised an eyebrow. Impressed. KC fired back with a lightning-fast arm drag. Then another, sending Rockstar scrambling to regroup. The pace picked up as they exchanged counters. Wrist locks reversed into flips. Takedowns reversed into pin attempts. Each man getting a near fall, but nothing more. It was evenly matched, a chess game in motion. But KC began to turn the tide. A perfectly timed dropkick caught Rockstar mid-step, sending the veteran to the mat. KC wasted no time, springboarding off the ropes into a crossbody for a 2 count. He kept the pressure on. Sharp kicks to the chest, a snap suplex, then a running knee strike that rocked Rockstar. The Hall of Famer rolled to the outside, trying to create space. But KC followed with a daring Tope Con Hilo, crashing into Rockstar and igniting the crowd. KC was firmly in control now. Back inside, he methodically worked over Rockstar, targeting the neck and shoulders. A modified camel clutch stretched the veteran, forcing him to grit through the pain. Rockstar tried to rally, throwing elbows to break free, but KC cut him off with a spinning heel kick that nearly took his head off. Another cover, 2.5. KC signaled for more. He went high risk, climbing the turnbuckle, but this time, Rockstar moved at the last second. KC crashed hard, and the momentum shifted. Rockstar began to stir. The Hall of Famer rose slowly, feeding off the crowd's support. KC charged, but Rockstar sidestepped and delivered a sharp back elbow. Another, then a swinging neckbreaker that brought both men down. But Rockstar was the first to his feet. The veteran fired up, clothesline. Another, then a spine buster that shook the ring. The crowd roared as Rockstar found his rhythm. He lifted KC for a delayed vertical suplex, holding him high in the air before bringing him crashing down. Cover, 2 count. Rockstar wasn't done. He signaled for the end, setting KC up for his signature combination. The crowd rose as Rockstar launched forward with a Superman punch. Connect! KC staggered, dazed. Rockstar hit the ropes again. Spear! But KC rolled out of the way at the last possible second, and Rockstar crashed hard into the turnbuckles. KC seized the moment. He sprang to the top rope in one fluid motion and launched into a breathtaking corkscrew splash, connecting perfectly. The impact echoed through the arena. KC hooked the leg. Oh! 1, 2! Rockstar kicked out. The crowd erupted. KC sat back in disbelief, hands on his head. That should have been it. Frustration began to creep in, but KC quickly refocused. He dragged Rockstar up, attempting to finish him again. But the veteran wasn't done yet. Rockstar fought back with desperate strikes, creating separation before hitting a sudden DDT out of nowhere. Both men lay exhausted. Slowly, Rockstar crawled to his feet again, the crowd willing him on. He dug deep, summoning that Hall of Fame resilience. KC charged, but Rockstar caught him with a power slam. Then another burst, German suplex, and he held on. Another. The crowd counted along as Rockstar completed the trifecta, bridging. 1, 2. KC kicked out. Rockstar nodded, acknowledging the fight in his opponent. He pulled KC up once more, looking for the spear again. But KC slipped behind him at the last second. A quick shove forward sent Rockstar into the ropes. As he rebounded, KC dropped low, rolling him up in one swift motion, grabbing the tights for leverage. 1, 2, 3. The bell rang. For a moment, there was stunned silence. Then a mix of cheers and gasps filled the arena. KC Luchador rolled out of the ring immediately, clutching the victory like gold. He knew he had stolen it, but a win was a win. Inside the ring, Johnny Rockstar sat up slowly, processing what had just happened. He looked toward the ramp, where KC stood, catching his breath, but grinning with triumph. After a moment, Rockstar rose to his feet and gave a small nod. Respect. KC may have taken a shortcut at the end, but he had gone toe-to-toe with a legend and survived. Tonight, KC Luchador didn't just win a match. He arrived.
Mr. Colbert, come out of your hiding. Mr. Crowley has been waiting, anticipating to hear some verbiage from you. I want to get an idea of the kind of man that I'm facing psychologically. I want to hear what's on your mind. Don't hide. There's no reason to hide. I mean, I guess, you know what's going to happen, right? You know that Mr. Crowley is going to unleash everything that you could possibly imagine. That's what I do. It's why they call me the natural born killer, because of what's right in here and how it translates to the ring. That's the important thing, RJ. But I need for you to do your part. I need for you to come out. Even if you only say a few things, that will tell me a whole lot about your mindset. Because believe me, Mr. Crowley is locked in to you. I've seen the film. I've seen some of your footage. But again, I need to put the two pieces together. So come on, RJ. Come out of hiding. There's no reason for you to hide, because we know what's going to happen tomorrow night.
Welcome back. Back in business. And with RJ Colbert in the company. Business is good. Now you see, I waited and watched to see when finally this company was going to come back to fruition. And when I heard that they were coming back, I put my name in the card, knowing that you would need top talent to rise this thing from the ashes like a phoenix. And whenever I got the call that I was going to be on the card, I heard who I was going to face, none other than Mr. Crowley, the man who sat here in this company and gained his roots, who won every championship known in this company, who took on man, woman, newcomer, oldcomer, people who have already reached the top, and people who are trying to claw themselves way up from the bottom to get to the top. And Mr. Crowley believes that I am in the description of the people that are at the bottom and trying to raise my way up to the top. Mr. Crowley, I've been at the top for a long time. I am a multi-world heavyweight champion. I am a multi-tag team champion. I am a Hall of Famer. And you, good sir, are a man that has to tell everybody what you have done in the company that you have set your roots in. When you have to tell everybody that knows you what you've done, that goes to show one thing and one thing only, that you are old news. And I'm going to prove that to each and every one of the people in the back whenever I face off against you one-on-one. Now you see, I don't think lowly of you. I don't think that you're low on the totem pole. I am not thinking past you. I know that you're going to come into this match and you're going to give it all. Give it all to the fans, to the people in the back. You're going to show everybody who Mr. Crowley is. Well, I'm going to show you the man that Mr. Crowley used to be. When I finish with you in the middle of the ring, you're going to go from the man who believes that he has it all to a man who is going to be clawing his way out of the grave that is his career in GWF. And as you finally reach the top of that shallow grave, it'll be me at the top, shoveling that little bit of dirt back into your face and watching you fall to the bottom as I sit there and slowly bury you and your career here in GWF. You think I'm here just to be a name? No, I'm here to make a fucking statement. And after you and I face off against each other, it is going to be one hell of a showdown, but in the end, the statement is going to be made on you. RJ Colbert is here in GWF. RJ Colbert is here to stay. The crazed one has arrived, and it is time to bury some fucking bodies.
We are back, and match 2 is about to get underway as R.J. Colbert stands across the ring from one of the true originals of GWF, Mr. Crowley. The atmosphere instantly feels different for this one. Crowley may be the older veteran, but there's an undeniable aura around him. The kind only earned through years of war inside a GWF ring. The crowd gives him a respectful ovation as RJ cracks his neck and stares him down with absolute confidence. The bell rings, and both men cautiously circle before locking up in the center. Crowley uses his experience early, controlling the wrist and transitioning smoothly into a headlock takeover. But RJ quickly counters with athleticism, slipping free and kipping back to his feet. The fans applaud the technical exchange as the two men remain dead, even through the opening minutes. But then, R.J. Colbert starts turning up the aggression. A sudden knee to the ribs creates an opening, and R.J. capitalizes immediately, hammering Crowley with stiff forearms before planting him with a snap suplex. R.J. stays on him relentlessly, not allowing the veteran any breathing room. A running uppercut in the corner rocks Crowley badly before RJ launches him overhead with a massive release German suplex that brings the crowd to life. Crowley rolls toward the ropes, clearly hurt, while RJ stalks him with the confidence of a man who believes the old guard is finished. But Mr. Crowley refuses to stay down. RJ charges in again, only for Crowley to explode with a huge boot to the face. The veteran fires back with heavy right hands and a brutal short-arm clothesline that turns Colbert inside out. The crowd roars as Crowley digs deep, summoning that signature toughness that made him one of GWF's most feared competitors. He follows with a sidewalk slam and hooks the leg. 1, 2. RJ kicks out. The pace intensifies from there as both men begin throwing everything they have at one another. RJ nails a devastating spinning elbow that nearly drops Crowley unconscious, while Crowley answers with a crushing spine buster that shakes the ring. Every move is taking more out of both men now. RJ suddenly sees his opening. Crowley stumbles up to his knees, and RJ sprints forward. Hidden blade to the back of the head. The impact is horrifying. Crowley collapses face first to the canvas as the crowd gasps in shock. RJ immediately rolls him over and hooks both legs deep. 1, 2. THR, no! Crowley's foot finds the bottom rope. The arena explodes as RJ sits in disbelief, screaming at the referee that it should have been 3. Crowley is barely conscious, dragging himself up with the ropes, while RJ lines him up once again. The younger star charges for a second hidden blade, looking to end the legend once and for all. But Crowley fires back. Out of nowhere, Crowley catches him with a desperate elbow strike. RJ stumbles, and Crowley unleashes everything he has left. Rapid punches, a knee to the gut, then Nightmare DDT. Crowley spikes RJ directly on his head. The veteran collapses on top of him for the cover. 1, 2, no! RJ Colbert kicks out. Neither man can even stand properly now. Both competitors are exhausted, battered, and barely moving as the crowd chants loudly for both men. Crowley slowly drags himself into the corner, while RJ crawls toward the opposite ropes. And suddenly, the lights go out. The arena falls into complete darkness. A confused murmur spreads through the crowd. Then music hits. Music GWF fans haven't heard in years. The reaction is instant. The redneck Superman, Colt Walker, is back. The roof nearly blows off the building as Colt Walker storms onto the stage with pure rage in his eyes. Crowley looks stunned inside the ring as Colt slides underneath the ropes and immediately charges straight at him. Power bomb! Crowley bounces violently off the canvas. The referee desperately tries to intervene, but Colt grabs Crowley again. Second power bomb! The crowd is losing their minds as Colt roars in fury before dragging Crowley up one more time. Third power bomb! Crowley is motionless. The referee has absolutely no choice. The bell is called for immediately. Mr. Crowley wins by disqualification. But Colt Walker isn't done. R.J. Colbert slowly gets back to his feet, looking shocked but ready to fight. The two men stare each other down as the crowd erupts again. R.J. throws the first strike, and the arena explodes into chaos. The two trade punches in the center of the ring before Colt drives a brutal knee into R.J.'s ribs, doubling him over. R.J. tries to fire back one more time. Superman punch! Colt Walker nearly takes Colbert's head off. R.J. crashes to the mat beside Crowley as Colt stands tall over both fallen men. The crowd is absolutely thunderous as the redneck Superman spreads his arms wide in the center of the ring, having just made one of the most shocking returns in GWF history.
McFly, your door to demise sits right behind me. And when it opens, everyone will find out what it's like to venture into the circus tent and take away everything from a man like you. You see, McFly, I'm not scared of your actions. When push comes to shove, you're just a little puppy dog standing in my way. And I'm going to take you out. People call you the sneaky snake. There's a reason for it. I get to dethrone your head off that slithering body of yours and put it on my wall, right up there above the door to demise. And when this time has come, you fell in my line. You played my game. And you did not heed thy warning very carefully, did you? You just sat there and you spewed garbage and bullshit. And now it's time for me to take what's mine. The center stage. The bright lights. The spotlight. I am the ringmaster, and you are my puppet. I've been pulling your strings all this time, McFly, and you didn't even know it. And now I get to expose you for what you really are. A limbless lizard that all you do is slither through the grass. You're not venomous. You're not deadly. You're just an average Joe, McFly. That's all you ever will be. No wonder you can't satisfy. You see, McFly, this is my domain. I created this circus, and you can't change a damn thing. I've already decided your fate. And for you are buried under every single willow. I put your body parts in separate caskets to watch you fail and fall once more. Because that's all you're good for is failing. You played my game. Deviant's game to be exact. And now, I get to take you out of the circus you walked into. And I get to put you out like Old Yeller. 2 clicks, 1 bang, boom, right to the skull. You're out. Bye, McFly. Get to take you out of the circus you walked into, and I get to put you out like Old Yeller. 2 clicks, 1 bang, boom, right to the skull. You're out. Bye, McFly.
GWF. The thing is that my opponent, Deviant, doesn't quite understand certain levels. You said you were waiting for me to throw the first shot. That's where you wrong, Deviant. Thou shalt not wait on no man to take their shot at each other. That's where you failed. You waited. You bided your time. But biding your time, Deviant, it's only going to cost you. You can claim to be the ringmaster. You can claim that you're better than Elijah McFly. But things are changing, Deviant. You don't understand now. The entire world will soon understand. Sooner rather than later. Because, Deviant, you and I are LOD. You're the ringmaster. I'm the snake that slithers through the suicide forest. So make no mistake about this, Deviant. Each and every single time you and I faced off, it may have been a different story. But when it comes to bell time, you're gonna get more than what you have expected. And to those that watch, keep watching. Cause I'm the guy people fucking hate. I love the negativity. There won't be anyone for the matter, that's gonna keep me away. So Deviant, let's have a little fun, shall we?
Welcome back, folks! And match 3 is set to begin as Deviant makes his unsettling entrance to a mixed reaction from the crowd. There's an intensity in his eyes tonight that feels different. Cold, twitchy, unpredictable. Across the ring stands Elijah McFly, full of confidence and energy as he bounces on the balls of his feet, ready for the challenge ahead. The bell rings, and Elijah immediately tries to use his speed advantage, circling around Deviant and peppering him with quick strikes. A fast drop kick sends Deviant stumbling backward before Elijah follows with a beautiful Hurricane Rana that has the crowd roaring early. McFly is moving at a frantic pace, trying not to allow Deviant any opportunity to slow things down. But Deviant suddenly catches him. Elijah springboards off the ropes, only for Deviant to grab him clean out of the air and drive him spine first into the turnbuckles with terrifying force. The entire momentum of the match changes instantly. Deviant stalks forward slowly, almost smiling to himself as he begins methodically dismantling McFly. Heavy forearms crash into Elijah's jaw. A brutal gutbuster folds him in half. Deviant then launches him across the ring with a violent overhead suplex that leaves the crowd gasping. Every move feels more vicious than the last as Deviant starts controlling the pace entirely. Still, Elijah McFly refuses to quit. The fans rally behind him as he fires back with sharp elbows to the side of the head before stunning Deviant with an Enziguri kick. Elijah explodes into action with a flurry of offense. Flying forearms, a springboard moonsault, then a standing shooting star press. 1, 2. Devlin kicks out. The energy inside the arena rises dramatically as McFly realizes he's got a real chance here. Elijah begins building momentum, feeding off the crowd noise. He ducks a clothesline, rebounds off the ropes, and nails a tornado DDT that plants Deviant right in the center of the ring. 1, 2. No! Deviant powers out with authority and immediately sits up. The atmosphere suddenly shifts. There's something unsettling in Deviant's expression now. He slowly rises to his feet, staring directly at Elijah without blinking. McFly hesitates for just a moment, and that moment costs him. Deviant explodes forward with a sickening lariat that nearly takes Elijah's head off. Then another. Then another. The referee begins warning Deviant to back away, but he doesn't even acknowledge him. Elijah is barely able to stand as Deviant grabs him and repeatedly drives knees into his ribs over and over again with frightening aggression. The crowd noise begins turning from excitement into genuine concern. Elijah collapses into the corner, but Deviant keeps coming. Stomps to the chest, forearms to the side of the head, mounted punches raining down relentlessly. The referee physically tries to pull Deviant away, but gets shoved aside instantly. Deviant has completely snapped. He drags Elijah back to his feet and plants him with a devastating slam before immediately locking in a brutal chokehold, wrenching back with horrifying intensity as Elijah struggles desperately to breathe. That's enough. The referee calls for the bell. The match has officially been stopped, but Deviant doesn't care. The bell keeps ringing as officials scream at him to let go, yet Deviant only cranks the hold tighter before finally releasing Elijah and immediately continuing the assault. He starts hammering Elijah with repeated forearms to the back of the head, while McFly lies completely defenseless on the canvas. The crowd rains down boos as security finally rushes toward the ring. It takes multiple guards and officials to drag Deviant away from Elijah McFly. But even then, he's still trying to break free, screaming incoherently and reaching for his opponent like a man completely consumed by madness. Meanwhile, Elijah McFly remains motionless in the ring as medical staff rush down to check on him. Even as Deviant is dragged up the ramp by security, there's no remorse on his face whatsoever. Only a twisted grin as chaos completely consumes match 3.
sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those children became mighty men, which were of the old ways, and the demigods.
GWF, the global championship on the line. LOD versus LOD, brother versus sister. The man banned from Japan goes up against one of the most dangerous individuals to ever roam my forest. A soul taker. The daughter of the devil. Cruella the vamp, you fit so well inside my forest, and now a tale that's as old as time. For more than a decade, the Legion of Doom has always fought each other. Because let's face it, family fights and steel sharpens steel. My dear Cruella, if you are able to overcome the adversity that's set upon you, to step to someone who's more dangerous than your father could ever be. Dear sister, if you are able to accomplish this feat, of course, I will put you up on that pedestal that every Legion of Doom member deserves when they beat their leader. But of course, like you said, this is family, and when one of my sisters gains the upper hand against me, how could I shy away from that fact? How could I retreat into the darkness? No. If I let that happen, it only allows you to become stronger than you previously were. So, let's face it. I hope you do and I hope you don't. Because no matter what, gold comes back to the Legion of Doom. My dear Cruella, no matter what happens, I will do anything and everything that I can to overcome what you bring to the table. And for you to take my soul, you have to have a soul to begin with. And, well, if you want to know where that soul's at, you're going to have to go ask your sister, Dollface. Ha 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 ha.
Cruella in black lace, counting bones in her purse. She walks the Legion of Doom like a curse in a fur. Her smile cuts glass, her heel leaves a scar. She calls out the lost ones from the trees in the dark.
Oh, look at you, Triple M. The magnificent, the mighty, the whatever other mediocre adjective you added to your career. It's adorable. It really is. You walk down the ramp like the floor must be honored to kiss your boots. We might be LOD brother and sister, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to walk right through you, because this is for the global championship and I'm going to earn it. You talk about legacy, about destiny, as if its universe actually cares about it. I mean, I don't care. I mean, everyone knows that you had a big career, but that doesn't mean that I can't kick your ass. You think you're coming into my ring to make a statement? Think twice, Triple M. You're just an irrelevant and non-existing person. So keep polishing your ego. Wear your brightest gear. Because when the lights go out, I'm not playing a pro wrestler. I'm playing the butcher. And you Triple M, are just a loud piece of meat that is talking and talking. See you in the dark, Triple M. And please, don't try to bleed on my shoes. They are vintage. And if my father finds out that there is blood on it, he is going to torture you even more.
After the chaos of that last match, Match 4 is finally here, and the atmosphere inside the arena feels absolutely massive as the vacant GWF Global Championship hangs high above the ring. The crowd is buzzing with anticipation, knowing that by the end of this contest, one competitor will etch their name into GWF history forever. First to the ring is Cruella the Vamp, entering with a cold confidence and a sinister aura that instantly captures the crowd's attention. Cruella looks laser-focused tonight, eyes locked firmly on the championship waiting ringside. Then comes Triple M to a thunderous ovation. Calm, composed, and determined, Triple M takes a long look at the title before stepping into the ring. You can feel the importance of this moment on both competitors' faces. The referee raises the championship high. The bell rings, and Match 4 immediately lives up to the hype. Both competitors start cautiously, neither wanting to make the first mistake. Triple M uses technical precision early, grounding Cruella with smooth transitions and quick counters. But Cruella answers with surprising speed and aggression. A sharp kick to the ribs creates separation before Cruella launches herself into a beautiful spinning head scissors takedown that sends Triple M rolling to the outside. The crowd erupts as Cruella wastes no time, sprinting off the ropes and diving through them with a breathtaking suicide dive that wipes Triple M out on the floor. The pace begins escalating rapidly. Back inside the ring, Triple M regains control with sheer power, catching Cruella mid-air and driving her into the mat with a thunderous power slam. The impact echoes throughout the arena as Triple M starts targeting the back and ribs, slowing Cruella down with calculated offense. But Cruella refuses to stay down. Every time Triple M seems close to taking over completely, Cruella finds a way back into the fight. She counters a suplex attempt into a DDT out of nowhere. Both competitors crash to the canvas as the crowd chants loudly for both wrestlers. This match has become an all-out war. Cruella nearly steals the championship after connecting with a devastating running knee strike, flush to the jaw. 1, 2, 3, no! Triple M survives. Cruella can't believe it, but she stays aggressive, climbing to the top rope looking for something huge. She launches herself, but Triple M catches her in midair. Fallaway slam. The crowd explodes again. Triple M hooks the leg. 1, 2. Cruella kicks out. The fans are on their feet now as both competitors continue throwing everything they have at each other. Triple M lands a brutal spine buster. Cruella answers with a poison Rana that nearly spikes him on his head. Triple M survives another near fall after barely getting a shoulder up at the very last possible moment, following a massive cutter from Cruella. Every second becomes more intense than the last. Exhaustion is clearly setting in now. Both competitors are battered, bruised, and barely able to stand, but neither is willing to let this opportunity slip away. Cruella signals for the end. The crowd rises as she charges forward for another running knee strike that could end it all. But Triple M scouts it. At the very last second, Triple M sidesteps, causing Cruella's knee to collide hard against the turnbuckles. The opening is tiny, but Triple M capitalizes instantly. He grabs Cruella from behind, rolls through beautifully into a tight cradle while trapping both arms. 1, 2, 3. Triple M has done it. The arena erupts as Triple M rolls away in disbelief while the referee retrieves the championship belt. Cruella sits in the corner, exhausted, disappointed, but fully aware she was part of something special. The referee hands Triple M the vacant GWF Global Championship, and the crowd explodes into cheers as he raises the title high above his head for the very first time. Triple M is the new GWF Global Champion. But then comes a moment that earns even more respect from the audience. Cruella slowly rises to her feet and steps toward the new champion. For a brief second, the tension lingers before Cruella extends her hand. Triple M accepts it immediately. The crowd applauds loudly as both competitors share a moment of mutual respect after pushing each other to their absolute limits in what has unquestionably been the best match of the night so far. Triple M climbs the turnbuckles with the championship raised proudly overhead, while Cruella nods respectfully from the center of the ring, knowing that despite the loss, she proved exactly why she belongs at the top of GWF.
Vita Lynn is that bitch. Walk in, room get stitched. Empress of excellence, I make the weak look rich. Most hated, most wanted. I've been that problem confronted. You talk big from the beaches. I take crowns and I flaunt it. Biggest tits, I'm loaded. Yeah, I said it, stay loaded. All that sands in my shadow. Watch your whole move get loaded. They hiss when I pass by. I grin like I know why. Every girl in my lane still ends up with my sky. They want smoke, I breathe fire. They want shade, I shine higher.
GWF. Sarabai, you really think you're gonna come out here at the return of GWF and knock me down and get a win over me? Again, like I've said, I named the beast within you, Juggernaut. I am that bitch. I'm going to do everything I need to come out victorious in this match. Sarabai, the only thing that you have over me is your size and stature. I'm fucking tiny compared to you. People think that you're gonna blow right through me just because I'm small. No. It's the small ones that you need to watch the most. Watch your back because we are small, but we are mighty. We can get past you in ways that you can never imagine. Sarabai, I am Vitalin. You know me too damn well. This match is mine. I'm gonna make your body, mind, and soul feel so adrenalized, Sarabai, The birds of prey will be circling and picking at your body. As they say, 1, 2, 3. Vidalin. Sarabai, I have a fire wanting to come out. But I know if I brought all of that with you, I would injure you. Injure you in ways that would end your career. So I can't bring all of it. So I'll give you just a taste, just the tip, if you must say, of the iceberg that is me. No cold shoulder on these, no. I'm as real as it fucking gets. No makeup, no crown, no special custom attire. No fancy effects. No. Just me. That's it. This is all you're getting. You may hear the audio in the background, that ambient music. But darkness, the void, the abyss, that's where your resting place is going to be, brother. Yes, I will miss you dearly. But you got put across from me. And you can't escape the witch.
Ladies and gentlemen of GWF, I got to make an announcement. I gotta say I'm proud of my sister for coming out there thinking that I just want the tip of the iceberg. Little sister, little sister, little sister. I just don't want the tip. I want the whole fucking berg. I want you to come at me like this. I want that fire that you're showing, and I want you to intensify it. Fan that flame and come at me. This may be the arrogance of the name you gave me. This may be, I don't know, maybe even the resilience of the nickname. But I want everything. I know what I'm walking into. I know you're that bitch. I know how far you're willing to go to win. But deep, deep down, inside that soul of yours and that heart of yours, that mind of yours, you know how far I'm willing to push, how far I'm willing to shove, how far I'm willing to bleed and fight to win. In that little comment below, when I told you, flat out said, you better have Dante ready with our drinks. You better make sure Dante is ready with the bandages, because we're going to need them, because you and I are not going to be the main event before the main part. You and I are going to be the fucking show. We're going to be the standard bearers of this company. We're going to prove we don't have to be world champions to put on the best goddamn show. And we're going to do it because of our knowledge of each other. You know my moves, I know yours. And like I said, it's going to be fun, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be dangerous. But sister, dear sister, dear, sweet, non-binary witch, Vita, as you so often tell me and ask me to say this to you because it's your favorite line of my character. And I'm going to do it just for you, but in a way that might fan that flame a little bit more. This is not going to be an easy win, Vita. It's not going to be an easy lose for either of us. But for you, it's not going to be an easy anything because I'm the motherfucking juggernaut, bitch.
We are back again, and match 5 already feels different before it even begins. There's no trash talk, no taunting, no hatred filling the arena tonight. Instead, there's tension, the kind that comes from two people who genuinely care about one another, being forced to stand on opposite sides of the ring. The crowd falls into an unusual hush as Vita Lynn makes their entrance. Normally energetic and confident, tonight Vita looks reflective. Almost nervous, they pause on the stage for a moment longer than usual, staring toward the ring with conflicted emotion written all across their face. Then comes godless Cerebi. The atmosphere instantly shifts. Cerebi is an intimidating presence at the best of times. Massive, powerful, dangerous. But tonight, there's something heavier behind his expression. No arrogance, no anger, just quiet focus. As he steps into the ring, he never once takes his eyes off Vita. The two stand across from each other, while the referee gives final instructions, but neither competitor is listening. They're just staring at one another, like neither truly wants this fight to happen. The bell rings, and for a moment, neither moves. The crowd begins applauding softly as Vita and Cerebi slowly step toward the center of the ring. They lock up cautiously, almost gently at first, feeling each other out with the familiarity only two people this close could possibly have. Cerebi's strength advantage becomes immediately obvious as he slowly forces Vita backward. But when they reach the ropes, he cleanly breaks away without a strike. Vita nods respectfully. Cerebi nods back. Then the match truly begins. Vita starts using movement immediately, circling around the larger opponent and forcing Cerebi to chase. Sharp kicks to the legs slow the big man down before Vita darts in with a quick combination of forearms and a beautiful drop kick that finally rocks Cerebi backward. The crowd erupts as Vita builds momentum early, feeding off the energy inside the arena. A springboard crossbody finally takes Cerebi off his feet for the first time. 1. Cerebi powers out instantly. Vita can't help but smile slightly. They know exactly how tough Cerebi is, but Cerebi's expression changes after that. He exhales deeply, then suddenly explodes forward with terrifying force. A massive shoulder block absolutely destroys Vita on impact. The crowd gasps as Vita flips inside out from the collision. That's the first moment where the emotion starts becoming painful. Cerebi doesn't celebrate hurting Vita. Instead, he hesitates before even picking them up again, almost regretting what he just did. But wrestling instincts take over. He lifts Vita effortlessly and drives them into the mat with a thunderous slam before following with heavy strikes to the ribs and back. Every move from Cerebi feels conflicted. Every move from Vita feels stubborn. Vita refuses to stay down. Even after being launched across the ring with a huge overhead throw, they drag themselves back to their feet. Even after Cerebi crushes them with a brutal sidewalk slam, Vita still kicks out at 2 and immediately crawls toward him, trying to keep fighting. The crowd starts rallying hard behind both competitors now. Not because they want one to win over the other, but because they can see exactly how much this match means. Vita eventually begins firing back with pure heart. A sharp elbow catches Cerebi across the jaw before Vita rebounds off the ropes into a flying knee strike that finally staggers the larger competitor. The arena explodes as Vita follows with a tornado DDT that plants Cerebi right on his head. 1, 2, no! Cerebi kicks out, and both competitors remain laid out on the mat. The fans start chanting for both wrestlers as the emotion inside the building continues growing stronger with every passing second. When they finally get back to their feet, the match becomes something truly special. Strike after strike, counter after counter, neither willing to give in. Vita throws everything they have into every shot, despite Sarabai's overwhelming size advantage. Sarabai absorbs punishment that would keep most men down, while visibly struggling emotionally every time he hurts Vita in return. At one point, Sarabai catches Vita diving off the ropes and transitions seamlessly into a massive power bomb that shakes the ring so hard the audience audibly gasps. 1, 2, no! Vita kicks out. Sarabai sits back in disbelief. Not angry, just exhausted emotionally. He runs both hands over his face and mutters something under his breath while looking down at Vita. It genuinely looks like he's begging them to stop making him do this. But Vita slowly pulls themselves back up again, barely able to stand, breathing heavily, yet still refusing to quit. The crowd rises to their feet as Vita suddenly slaps Sarabai directly across the face. Not out of disrespect, out of defiance, out of love, out of proving they will never stay down. And something inside Sarabai snaps emotionally after that. He charges forward with terrifying aggression, hammering Vita with repeated strikes before nearly decapitating them. With a monstrous lariat, the impact is so violent, the crowd screams collectively. Sarabai drags Vita up again and crushes them with another brutal slam before hooking the leg tightly. 1, 2, no! Vita survives again. Now Sarabai looks heartbroken. Actually, heartbroken. He stares at the referee, then down at Vita, unable to understand how they're still fighting. The crowd begins chanting Vita's name loudly, while Sarabai slowly pulls them back up one final time. He signals for the finish. The entire arena rises. Sarabai charges forward, but Vita counters at the last second. Vita slips underneath him and uses Sarabai's own momentum against him, sending the larger competitor crashing hard into the turnbuckles chest first. Sarabai stumbles backward in pain and exhaustion directly into a tight crucifix pin. 1, 2, 3. Vita Lynn wins. The bell rings and the crowd absolutely erupts. Vita immediately rolls away, clutching their chest in disbelief, while Sarabai remains motionless on his knees in the center of the ring, stunned that the match is over. For several moments, neither competitor even moves. They're too exhausted, too emotional. Finally, Vita slowly rises and walks towards Sarabai carefully. The crowd quiets again. Sarabai looks up at them, then slowly stands. No words are exchanged. None are needed. The two embrace tightly in the middle of the ring as the audience gives them a standing ovation. It's not just respect anymore. It feels like family. Two people who just put each other through absolute hell and somehow still care deeply about one another afterward. Vita closes their eyes during the hug, visibly emotional. Sarabai pats them on the back gently before stepping away. For a second, it feels like the perfect ending. Sarabai nods respectfully and begins walking toward the ropes, while Vita watches quietly from the center of the ring. Then Sarabai stops. The crowd murmurs uneasily. Slowly, he turns back around. Vita's expression changes immediately. There's confusion there, then concern, then lariat. Sarabai absolutely obliterates Vita with a devastating clothesline that turns them inside out. The entire arena erupts in shock. Vita crashes violently to the mat while Sarabai stands over them breathing heavily. eyes filled with conflict and pain rather than satisfaction. The audience boos loudly, unable to believe what they just witnessed. Cerebi kneels beside Vita slowly as they struggle to sit up. Then quietly, almost regretfully, he says, "I love you, sis, but I gotta do what I gotta do." And just like that, he leaves. No celebration. No explanation. Just silence surrounding him as he walks up the ramp without looking back. Inside the ring, Vita Lynn slowly pulls themselves upright using the ropes. Their hair hangs over their face at first as the crowd watches in stunned silence. Then Vita looks up. There are no tears, no sadness, no heartbreak, only pure, burning rage. The camera lingers on Vita's face as the realization settles in. Something between these two has just changed forever.
You see, TJ Shadows, GWF, you may think only one person can highlight their skill, only one person can be showcased in the best spotlight, because only one can walk out earning their chance to fight for the GWF Heavyweight Championship, when no, you would so sadly be mistaken. See, you, my brother, you're a gladiator. You're a warrior. You've shed blood, tears, flesh, your heart, your soul, every single amount of emotion that you have inside your body, inside of that ring every time you step inside of it, because it is what you call your domain, the Warforged TJ Shadows, one always prepared for anyone who he encounters. You see, TJ, I know it's not going to be easy. If anyone knows a fight that you can bring, oh, it is myself. The wars that we have been through in VPW, hell, in GWF, hell, in SWA when we first had our first encounter. It was called the SWA World Heavyweight Championship, and you see, on that moment, on that occasion, TJ Shadows, I beat you. It's like a full circle moment, isn't it? Because now another championship is on the line. A chance to be crowned the face of the company is once again up for grabs. See, I know you remember that moment, that fleeting second, because you had me exactly where you wanted me to. But you hesitated. Because the bond that we have is brothers. You didn't know if you could do that killing shot on me to get that 1, 2, 3, but me, TJ Shadows, there is no ill intent, there is no ill will towards you. No. What I do is this business. See, if you end up getting injured, hurt, put on a shelf, even if you scrape away with a victory and you walk away feeling the pain, the bruises, the aching sensation running through your entire body, you know it's because of only one person. It's because I pushed you to your limits that you've never had to go to before. It's because I showed you, TJ Shadows, when it comes to that sacred mat in between those ropes at 20 by 20. Once that bell rings, bell to bell, bar for bar, me and you are two of the absolute best. And there's no one that can doubt that. It's been proven facts. Look at what we've done, TJ Shadows. Hell, look at what you've done. Look what I've accomplished. You know, it's sort of neck and neck. We're at even playing field. No one is stacked higher than the other. We are here for a reason. I see the emotion, TJ. I'm waiting for it. Hell, I'm expecting it. Because you love this game. You love this industry. You love entertaining the fans. You You love entertaining the management, the locker room. You love going out there, put on a show no matter what the outcome is. As long as you do your best. As long as you go out there knowing that whether you win or lose, you made it hard as hell for the outcome to come no longer your way. This occasion, TJ Shadows, I shouldn't have to tell you this, you already know this. This isn't going to be short. This is going to be a barn burner. It's going to blow the roof off the entire building. Tonight, we'll truly find out, Shadows, who never gets out alive.
Okay. Ring's been set up. Everything's in place. The lights are on. The arena's full and packed to the gills. And hey, Stu, you got the music prepped? That's why I love you, dog. Dante, it seems we are a few moments away from creating our history. History that we could share, not just with ourselves and with those we care for, with this company that's willing to give its all for us to be its end-all, be-all. It's like you said, I'm a bit of a storyteller. So I think I got one more limerick to share with you before we go out there and raise hell, my friend. You see, there are many times in my career that I've thought, when people have put faith in me, it was misplaced. Not because I didn't have the skill. Shit, could you imagine if I didn't? Wouldn't be here this long. But more so at the fact of just simple mortal fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of indecisiveness. Fear that their faith in me was misguided. And ironically enough, when I got around people like you and DJB and Vita and Scott and so many others, that fear slowly but surely faded away. Now granted, it still pokes its head every now and then just to remind my ego that it should not exist regardless of what the accolades tell you. But it's just something about faith that, as scary as it is, it's fulfilling. Dante, you don't understand how important this is to me. And at the same time you do. You want this to prove to DJB that you, being the second coming of excellence, is a sign of the times that this industry sorely needs and deserves. Me winning this match, being one step closer to the title, I need that, ironically enough, to prove to you that everything you've done for me is a worthwhile endeavor. That everything people like you have sacrificed to make sure that I still have something to say in this industry is worthwhile. Some people go out there and fight for checks, some fight for legacy, some fight just for the love of the game, but for me, I fight for those who can't fight anymore. Even if they're still swinging. I fight for all the times you've been told no, that DJB's been told no, that Vagabond's been told no, that Vita's been told no, that people like Sarabai, Crowley, the list goes on and on. I am the outcry for the outcast that has stepped up and stepped out onto every battlefield. You said it yourself, I am Warforged, not just because of the stories I give to these people night in and night out on the mic, but the stories I craft with my blood, sweat, tears, and overcome fears. I often wonder, at my lowest moments, if being here, not just in this industry, but in this world, is the right thing. But then I look out at that crowd, I hear the
thump of my music hit those speakers. And I simply look to the sky. And I see my teacher, Mikey Shadows, and I see Mama Shadows staring down at me. And until I breathe my last, until I stomp my last stomp, and this lariat is no longer the greatest thing this industry has ever seen, I will wage war only I can wage. I love you, Dante. That will never change. But what you're going to experience, and what these wonderful people in GWF are going to learn for the first time, no matter where you go, no matter how long you've done this, and even if you're new to the game, that ring is a world where it has, is, and always will be shadows over everything. See you out there, brother.
The arena is already at full volume before the bell even sounds. A constant roar of anticipation that feels less like excitement and more like pressure building to a breaking point. This is the main event, and it carries something heavier than just pride or momentum. The winner of this match earns the right to choose the next challenger for the vacant GWF World Heavyweight Championship. 2 men, 1 opportunity, and neither of them built for compromise. The lights shift as the first entrance begins. The Reaper Dante Black steps out from behind the curtain to a reaction that is massive but uneasy. There's respect in it. Undeniable respect. But also a kind of collective uncertainty, because Dante Black doesn't walk to the ring like a competitor. He walks like a conclusion waiting to happen. No theatrics, no acknowledgement, just a slow, deliberate descent toward the ring. Every step measured, every movement controlled, like he's already decided how this ends and is simply working through the process. He enters the ring and stops dead center. Still, silent, waiting. Then the tone shifts again. TJ Shadows appears at the top of the stage. The reaction tightens immediately. Focused, cold, intentional. TJ Shadows doesn't perform for the crowd. He studies the environment like it's already a battlefield map. Every step down the ramp is calculated, every breath controlled. No wasted movement, no emotion visible, just purpose. He enters the ring and locks eyes with Dante instantly. No words, no movement, just understanding. The referee raises the stakes above them. The crowd rises to their feet. Ding, ding! And the match detonates. No circling, no feeling out, just collision. Dante Black fires first. A heavy forearm that snaps TJ Shadow's head to the side. TJ answers instantly with a stiff kick to the ribs that echoes through the arena like a crack of steel. Dante doesn't back up. He fires another forearm. TJ responds with a knee strike. Dante again. TJ again. Strike for strike, impact for impact, neither man giving ground, neither man blinking. Then Dante breaks the rhythm completely. He grabs TJ by the throat and drives him backward into the corner with raw, crushing force. The referee moves in immediately, trying to separate them, but neither man acknowledges him. TJ fires back with sharp elbows until he creates just enough space to escape. TJ rebounds off the ropes and runs straight into a lariat from Dante Black that turns him inside out. The ring shakes on impact. Dante doesn't cover. He just watches, like he's measuring what's left. Then he drags TJ up again and sends him into the corner with brutal force. Shoulder thrust. Another. TJ is already forced into survival mode early. But TJ Shadows refuses to fade. He explodes out of the corner with a sharp elbow that staggers Dante. then another, then a spinning strike that finally creates separation. TJ launches forward with a snap German suplex that spikes Dante hard on the neck. The crowd reacts instantly. TJ covers. 1. Kick out. No hesitation. TJ stays on him. Another suplex attempt is blocked. Dante powers out with a violent shove, then catches TJ with a forearm that flips momentum again. Dante lifts him. Power bomb. The ring shakes violently. Dante hooks the leg. One day. 2. Kick out. The crowd rises louder now. Dante sits up slowly, frustration beginning to creep into his expression. Not panic, but irritation. TJ Shadows is still here, still fighting. He rises. Points. The crowd knows what's coming. Spear of excellence. TJ moves. Dante crashes into the turnbuckle so hard, the ring physically shifts. TJ reacts instantly. Into the shadow realm. Dante is spiked into the mat. Cover. 1. 2. What's up? Kick out. TJ doesn't hesitate. He pulls Dante up again. Into the shadow realm again. Cover. 1. 2. Kick out again. The arena is in disbelief. TJ breathes once, still composed, but urgency is building. He lifts Dante again. Into the shadow realm. Dante explodes out mid-move and shoves TJ into the referee, breaking the flow. Now, the match changes tone again. Dante goes sharper, more violent. Forearm, knee, a brutal slam into the corner. TJ stumbles out. Nobody gets out alive. It lands clean. Dante covers. The referee is stunned, but crawls to make the count. 2. Kick out. Dante pauses, then laughs. Low, controlled, almost impressed. The fight then spills out of the ring, not by strategy, but by exhaustion and impact. Both men tumble to the outside after a final exchange sends them crashing under the ropes. The referee begins a count. 1. Both men struggle to rise. 2. TJ pulls himself up using the barricade. 3. Dante rises near the ring steps. 4. They begin trading strikes again outside. TJ with sharp, precise elbows. Dante with heavy forearms that echo through the arena. 5. Dante swings. TJ ducks and drives Dante into the barricade. 6. TJ takes a breath. He sees space. He drags Dante toward the announce area. The crowd rises as both men climb onto the announce table. 7. TJ Shadows explodes into the shadow realm on the announce table. The impact is catastrophic. The table collapses under the force. Dante Black is destroyed through it. The crowd erupts in shock. TJ doesn't waste time. He rolls off the wreckage, climbs back to his feet, and begins scrambling toward the ring. 8. He pulls himself up and rolls into the ring. 9. He steadies himself inside the ring, barely standing. Outside, Dante Black is still trying to move, crawling toward the apron. The referee continues the count. 10. Dante Black lunges forward in a last desperate attempt, but he is a fraction too late. Ding, ding, ding! TJ Shadows wins via countout. The arena erupts in stunned reaction. Not celebration, shock at how close it was, how violent it became, how narrowly it ended. TJ stands in the ring, exhausted, barely upright, staring down at Dante Black outside the ring, who is still half draped near the apron after missing the final second. No celebration. No reaction. Just survival. The referee raises TJ's arm. TJ slowly lowers it. Then he looks out across the arena and down at Dante Black. And the moment fades into silence as TJ Shadows gestures for a microphone.
God damn. Guys, gals, oh shit. Non-binary pals. You just saw me go out there and risk my life only how TJ Shadows could. And the best part, he got to do it with someone he considers family, in Dante Black. But as you saw from the referee raising my hand and the lovely ballad of Aesop Rock blowing through your speakers, the Warforged has earned a chance at another spoil to add to the war cabinet. All I gotta do is figure out a dance partner. But you know the fun thing about this industry? Ever so often, the first time ever, is some of the finest moments you will find. But that pales in comparison to when you add more and more and more to a pantheon of passion, like finding a rival. So, I say, we run that shit back one more time for the one more time. The Warforged, TJ Shadows, The Reaper, Dante Black, one more time, live and direct, this time for the top prize. What say you, Dante? What say one more war?